before anything, try to take the steps forward. Make mistakes. Doesn't matter because nobody just starts something and it becomes what you want it to be. Because even if you were to get it, you wouldn't be able to manage it. It's the
Mhm.
journey that teaches you how to manage it.
Welcome back to Rerouted, where we explore unique career paths to give you the tools you need to create the life you want. In today's episode, I sit down with Abdullah Ikram, a student at Khalifa University in Abu Dhabi, UAE, and entrepreneur, who turned his personal struggle with back pain into a business. We talk about Abdullah's journey designing and marketing an orthopedic pillow that he sells on Amazon in the UAE. We discuss the challenges of starting a business from scratch, all things getting a product manufactured, and the art of balancing academic pursuits with entrepreneurial ambitions. Let's get into it. Abdullah, thank you so much for joining me today. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much, Nicholas, for taking the time out. I'm very excited about what we're going to talk about today.
I wanted to bring you on to talk about your online business that you run. Can you start by giving me a little bit of a rough overview of what you do?
Okay, so basically, I have designed an orthopedic pillow for people with back pain, and how my journey started was really when I used to be a med student and long hours of study. I used to get serious back pain. I wouldn't be able to sit in the same position a couple of hours. It was very strenuous. So what I did try to do was move around a little bit, and I thought of looking for pillows that would allow me to have a straight posture. So when I looked online, I wasn't really able to find. So this is me from the consumer end,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought, why don't I design specifically something for people who have to be in the same position for a couple of hours? And when I looked online, I saw an opportunity because most of the pillows they did not offer what I believe that like was like the cooling gel technology or the features that we have as a breathability or mesh fabric. Most of them used to be just for like you you put them on the seat would be only for a couple hours that you could last there. This is what so with the pillow that I'm having that I designed, able to sit for longer hours, and that is really through some of the technologies that we innovated with. And so I managed to put it on Amazon, get it licensed, registered, talk with manufacturers, and we're presenting it and scaling it right now.
All right. So you literally started with you had the problem and then you designed it,
Exactly.
saw what was out there, wasn't cutting it.
Yes.
Okay. And you said you were a med student at the time?
Yeah. So I used to go. So I used to be in Caribbean islands where I was pursuing an associate degree. It was really pre med
Okay.
at the time. So I'd complete that, and I was in Antigua, Caribbean islands. So again, then there's not much technology world because you're literally on an island. You only have beaches if you want to relax and you have a good view. But it's a small place to be in, and it's not something that's you'd have all the amenities that you need or technologies, if I would say.
Okay. Got it. So I wanna you gave like a good overview of kind of like how the business started and stuff, but I'm really curious honestly about your design process because I'm an engineering dork. I'd like to learn a little bit more about that. Kind of went into your design process and then what the steps were going from design to then getting that manufactured.
Okay, so how it starts is really from step one. You start looking into what are the products that are already existing in the
Hmm.
market, and who you want your manufacturer to be. Are they willing to talk to you? You're just starting out. Most of them are not really interested. So you're talking of ex- placing a large order on what's already existing, or sorry, you're placing a small order on what's already existing, and if you want to make some changes to what exists, you'd have to tell the manufacturer that you're going to place a large order. So if you're like, you gotta have a basic idea of what you want to design. When you talk to manufacturers, for example, for me, the easiest place to go to was Alibaba, right? And then really look at what's going on in that market. So over there, you'd have this channel where you're able to communicate directly with the supplier or the distributor, and then you can tell them, "Hey, this is what I want. This is." And you try to negotiate the price, and you can talk to their teams their design teams, and you tell them this is the changes I want to make. However, they will not entertain you if you're doing a large order. But I gave them brief design. I told them this is my brand and this is what I want. So most of them would not agree to it, but I would be trying to do this with a couple of them. However, if they're nice enough, they would, tell you, okay, this is what we can do and this is what you could do. And then you'd have to place an order. It ships. So you're doing the testing. Essentially, it's manufactured. It ships to you over a couple of days, and they ship like 10 pieces. So you make sure this is what I want, right?
Hmm.
This is the product itself, and you test it. If you feel like there's something that needs to be changed further, and you tell them, and communicate it with them through that same channel. So that's really how it works, and then it also develops a sort of trust, which is very important with the manufacturer. I mean, a lot of the time you place a large order, and some of them are not like the pieces, the units are not of the same quality. So it's a part of the place an order, you pay them, and they ship it to you. So trust is a very, very big factor in this process.
How did you go from the design to the manufactured piece? Was it something where it was like that was engineering designers that were like doing the drawings and stuff like that, like the technical specs, or was that you, or was that someone else that you brought on?
So I was not knowledgeable enough to do the extreme technicals.
Hmm.
I knew what I wanted briefly. I drew the sketch. Of course, the viability comes from the manufacturers. So you have the sketches and then you show it to them, and you tell them, okay, if there's something that needs to be printed specifically for me, it was about branding.
Okay.
So uh, so I could show it to you right now. Actually, if I have the product to me,
Yeah,
this
sure.
is
Actually, I'd
what
love
it
to see
is.
it. You're using it. I
This
love
is what
that.
it, yeah, yeah, that's right. I'm not doing for the rep, but this is really what it is. And so we had different colors and we had the different things, but essentially we had technology stayed the same. So you have the cooling gel inside here. This is
Hmm.
the mesh fabric, and so it's squeezable, right? This technology in and of itself, if you keep it for a couple of weeks like that, it's going to perfectly complement. So these specific bits of the technology with how it's structured and how it's going to be was already there. However, some of the colors and, for example, the knits, right? And what's the material over here going to be like? That was designed, told by me. And for example, here you have the branding, so they would do this for you as
Hmm.
well. They print the name of the brand. So this is my brand that I founded,
Very
and
nice.
a zipper, and the fact that you have this thing you can get it modified, and so it was a bit of their work and my work. So that is one of the reasons why, even if I wanted, I can't get a patent.
For
However, if
sure.
you're a large order or stuff like that, that we can do something, work with developers and the scientists, add the menu designing to a place.
All right. I'm really impressed
And answer
that
your question, I'm sorry if I
no,
went over.
no, you did, and thank you for showing me the product as well. I'm really impressed as well by the fact that it was something where it was a lot more of a collaborative effort with the manufacturer. That's not something I don't have any experience with that. That's something I'm very interested in. And generally, I think people who are interested in getting into consumer products like this, who have an idea, it's really relevant for them. So it's great to know that it's not something where you need to have the technical chops of being able to say, I need this specific type of plastic, I need this specific type of meshing, that type of stuff, and that the manufacturer is able to work with you. So does this manufacturer do other similar types of products? Like, is this their niche? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, they do a lot of it. I mean, their niche is specifically in pillows. That's
For
what they
sure.
do. They do pregnancy pillows. They do. There was a huge trend on those. They do pillows for back pain. They do sleeping pillows. They do, these crazy pillows that you've been seeing with these gels and huge ones, and they do blankets. So it's
Okay.
mostly in those areas of things, orthopedic and non-orthopedic, different colors for children as well. So it's a whole factory specifically aimed towards pillows. So they know what they're doing. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're going from nothing, I think in any niche or any industry, specifically to do with China, they already have a lot of what we've never seen before, right?
Okay.
There's a use case for if you really have, if anybody is lucky enough to go to China and see what their inventions are, it's crazy. So the thing is that you got to have a problem that you want to address, and you have an idea of how you want to execute it. You check the market, what already exists, and then you add your own unique touch to it. of course, then through this entire process, you want to have someone you trust because, again, as I said, like if you don't, there's no trust or the level of transparency between you and the supplier, the manufacturer. I don't think it's going to be a very fruitful endeavor.
Okay. So how did you found this supplier, this manufacturer just through Alibaba? Were you finding like similar products and just reaching out to who that was, or how did you find them?
So I found similar products on Alibaba. However, there's a way you could check what the track record of the company is, right? Then,
Okay.
then you know that they've been in the game. They have the certifications. They have these star gold, showing that they've been in the industry for 10 years, 15, or some of them even 25 years.
Mm.
So you know that they have a good track record and they're worth approaching to them. Some of the times they not entertain you because you're not a bulk buyer. But if
Sure.
they're nice enough, they will talk to you. So it's a matter of trial and error, but there's a bunch of them because really Alibaba is one of those ways where a lot of these suppliers voice out their products. That's one of the
Mm-hmm.
platforms that's known across the world for
Mm.
this need. I mean, there's a lot of drop shippers and those kinds of people. They just flip products. It was a huge business a couple of
Oh
years
yeah.
ago, but now that's dead because people believe in branding, believe in trust, right? People believe, so it's a way of conveying quality and making sure that your customer has the product that was initially shown to them. Scamming isn't going to take you a long place. I mean, it's not going to be very fruitful in the long run.
Okay. So in terms of how your model works, I'm curious about your logistics, to be honest with you. Do you have a warehouse where you have a ton of these? Do you do your own shipping? Is it something where it's like as if like is the product listed on Alibaba like a drop shipper in theory could drop? Like how does that work? How does
Okay,
like your
so I have a license. First up, I have a license over here.
Okay.
That's not so it's not trademarked. First thing is you have to have a brand that is associated with your product. However, I did not have that because I was just testing out this initially.
Hmm.
Um, so that's registered. So it's not trademarked. So the name of the brand is not the same on the license. But that's not going to be a big problem unless you're scaling.
Hmm.
Second thing, when you're talking with the manufacturer, if you trust them enough, they have their own network of people who ship the product, right?
Mm. Okay.
Okay, so they would recommend it to you. So there's Alibaba Express, which is the fastest service that ships the product to you. So once it's here, like for example, I shipped 100 units of these, right? Where am I going to keep them?
Hmm.
That's what was the success. What I did was I had my license and registered myself on Amazon FBA,
Hmm.
fulfillment by Amazon. So what they would do is they would keep my product, right? And this is while I was having my product on, I was doing other products already on Amazon. So they have this huge warehouse that you really register yourself, and if you have a certain number of units, you're allowed to go and have an appointment, and then you put your products with the wherever, however you have with the trucks into their warehouse. So that's what FBA is. It's fulfillment by Amazon. They store all of your products, and once you start getting orders, they ship it out by themselves, so you do not need to worry. So that would be for a fee. That
Hmm.
would be for usually I'm not sure, but like it's about, I think, 12% of whatever you're selling the product for.
Okay.
So then you need to do your margins, right? How much are you buying it from the supplier to make sure it's profitable? Because at the end of the
Hmm.
day, it's a business. You're not doing, right. You have to take your margin. How much have you invested? How much are you selling for? What are the margins for the shipping, right? And then what are the margins uh, for Amazon's fee? By the time you do all the cutting, for example, for me, the return of investment on this was 15% per sale, 15 or 12, 13%. It's a difficult thing, but I think it goes on in the long run because you really learn the essence of not just design and innovation, right? You learn of applying that innovation and design into a product, and then you try to sell it, which is, for me, it's a form of art. It's something that you've made and you've built and you really want people to see. However, then you also have to see what the demand in the market is, right? So it's not just about selling something you're passionate about.
Hmm.
It's also about what the people want, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that having that balance between liking what you're selling and selling what people need is very important. I mean, some of the time people don't even like what they're selling, but because they're making money out of it,
Uh-huh.
because then you have capital, and then you can make the decision to change the product later on. Those are decisions you can make later on. But really, the first step is to see what will work. For me, I thought of it as a consumer myself. I thought of it, okay, there's a need for this. Is there something that's already available in the market? What do the people need? Right? What are the problems that people have with this product that I could fix?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the birth. That is the birth of an idea that could probably $1 million idea, right?
Of
For the
course.
sake of business and also for the sake of helping people. I think anything that you do, if it's not helping people in the long run, it's probably not going to be very successful. It's not sustainable. That's at least that's what I could say.
For sure. All right. Where are you in the stages of growth of this? Did you just get your
Yeah.
first product tomorrow or yesterday, or where are you at in terms of your growth?
So I started during Corona.
Okay.
It's very long, so very, very long. So it's been a couple of years now. 2023 was when I really started the design process. I was like dropped out of my old university because of travel issues, the war, the pandemic, everything was so basically dropout for a year. I was doing a job, I was doing like looking in sales and everything, so I kind of understood what was the process, the way to go, and I had more time to give it to it. So that's when I launched. I didn't do very well in the first year.
Sure.
However, then I started looking for partnerships with offices. So I started going B2B, right?
Mhm.
First off, I started with ads. That's what I started with. Social media marketing. My ROAS was really low. Facebook ads I was doing in TikTok, Instagram. That was not very successful within the first year because not because of the money that I put in, because I got about 200,000 in engagement. But I
Okay.
sold like barely like less than 5 or 6 units in
Oh,
that
wow.
whole year because of
Okay.
I think that it was a bit more because I was extremely unexperienced and I couldn't find the people to talk to. Then I moved towards B2B. I started partnering in a couple of offices. So here, I used started doing door to door sales. Almost got arrested because of it. They called me trespassing because it was some
Uh-huh.
American entity with like super high protocol. Like like some offices over here, like in Dubai especially,
Mm-hmm.
they're very scared. You think, why is this guy suspicious? So I was giving out. I used to dress like in a suit and I used to do like give out cards and like, hey, this is
Mm-hmm.
my company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm representing my company. I'm his founder, and if you would like to try my product, you could have my email. This is what I was trying, and then I tried about 500 or 600 offices. Within like a week, I stopped because I was thinking like most of them did not respond, so it was not a case of trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just put my product on Amazon. Then my university started, so I kind of took a gap. Then I continued doing ads. So right now, my essential is trying to present approach. Sales are still not very good. So it's not a failed product really for me. It's just more about because I know the need exists. I
Mm-hmm.
was able to present it on the Research Innovation Exhibition where so it's about seeing the right people and talking to the right people and presenting it at the correct platforms. So I was presenting it at the Research Innovation Exhibition where people from the similar industries, leaders from the industries were there, and I collaborated with Abu Dhabi police. They integrated my product. They tested and evaluated my product, and they said it's very good. And they're using it currently. So I've collaborated with them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm approaching there's a company called Doctor Stretch. So I
Okay.
think B is the way to go, and this company does a lot of therapy for people with back pain.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's about finding companies with a similar interest or that attracts a similar audience and then approaching them and seeing if there's a way out towards that. How I know, like for a lot of times that there was some, so I'm partnered with KUEC, Khalifa University Enterprise Company.
Mm-hmm.
They support me a lot. So the one of the advices that I received from them was whenever you're running a business or anything, such project that you started out or venture that you started out by yourself, set time deadlines for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
If in 6 months I'm not able to achieve this, I need to change my trajectory.
Sure.
Whether that's in the method that I'm trying or the product completely. For me, I couldn't. It's too expensive for me to change my product right now because
Mm.
I've invested so much. I'm deep in either I change my product completely, even though I had the things, and then again I need capital.
Yeah.
So I need something to do with the units that I'm already sitting, which are about like maybe 80 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a way out for me in the couple of months that I've set for myself for 2 months, then I can take it forward. So I'm not here to tell people that, hey, look at me, I'm successful and I'm
Mm.
achieving everything dreamed of. It's the ideal way. But I could say I'm getting there. I can say like if in the next 6 months we'll make something happen because I know what to do. I've learned from my mistakes. I know who to talk to. I know what to avoid. So throughout your journey, you keep seeing these things that you know that you need to avoid, and it's a waste of your time because you do not want to spend your energy and you do not want to spend your money as well
Mm-hmm.
on things that you know wouldn't be fruitful. For example, in my situation was knowing that going door to door was not the way out because I really used to think, okay, if I go and present myself and I have this physical interaction, then people are going to start believing me. It's really this is the case, right? But no, these days people do not believe you if you're right in front of them because unfortunately the number of scams out here, the thing is you have to come from a renowned platform. And now if I tell anybody right now, if I've collaborated with this entity like Abu Dhabi Police, they say, wow, this is amazing. It's who you've worked with.
Yeah.
It's who the people you've been around that really shows that okay, this guy's coming from somewhere, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is someone we want to work with. It's
Mm-hmm.
all about making yourself less available that seems, you get me?
I
I'm
kind
not
of see
sure
what
if
you're
you,
saying.
yeah, it's making yourself less available that makes you really worth talking.
Mm-hmm.
If you make yourself like putting yourself out there all the time and you're running after them, I think that's the hustle culture over there. It's not, it doesn't go a long way really. Hustle culture is important when you have deadlines. I mean, you already have the product ready and you're talking to the supplier, and that's a fun bit to work with, right?
Okay.
It's hectic, but it's fun, right? That you could send in hours and more hours. But if you're sending in cold emails and cold calling, cold emails do not work anymore. LinkedIn is a very good place. Like we're gonna be putting this on LinkedIn. Very good place to talk to because it shows this has a track record. If you start a conversation where then you have something to back you up,
Mm-hmm.
you're not just a nobody on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like you're hanging out at Soho House instead of going to every random bar and just trying to see if you can get leads there. Is
And
that?
if you're on the table up there, come on, someone walks up to from the big table.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's somebody. Okay.
Yeah. 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 I
Yeah.
love I love what you're saying as well about this kind of like your journey from you've got a product and you've figured that it works. You found that you do have some product market fit, but just seeing where exactly that market is. Because just the idea that it's like you have a real problem that you're truly addressing, but now you are making sure that you're getting in front of people who will actually pay for it. I also really
Yeah.
like I feel like this whole conversation's kind of circled around this idea that the nameless kind of like the hustlers, not the hustlers, but kind of like the scammy stuff is really not a lot of trust. Whether that would be when we were talking earlier about what you see for drop shipping, and then also now what you see from when you're just a guy in a suit going door to door in businesses. Do you feel like it's kind of fair to say that it's kind of circling around that idea that it's like that kind of like the scammy buy this product now type of stuff? I've got a really great Facebook ads, I got a really nice suit, isn't really working, at least in the UAE.
Yeah, I can imagine that works really well in the United States because there's a level of trust. I mean, the
Okay.
number of scams over there probably a lot, but people doing the right thing over there in terms of work. Because I noticed that in my ads as well.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
if I'm doing ads, I could notice like who's engaging in my posts, and the engagements were really well.
Mm-hmm.
However, when it got to the point where you had to be on the shipment page, because I have a license in the United States as well, right? My company is based in Delaware. So when I did ads locally in here, the difference I noticed was I'd had a lot more people go to the buy now page in America than
Okay.
here. Yeah, here people were barely okay. They would watch for it. The watch time was there, but like after a few seconds, they would zone out. So maybe that's a problem with the way I'm presenting it. But I tried a lot of different techniques to really get that attention. There's a way you structure the ad is a hook, right? Within the 3 seconds, you grab their attention, then you maintain it. You talk about your product, the benefits of it, how is it unique, and then you got to call to action
Mm-hmm.
buy it now, right? I tried that technique several times. I could have been wrong. I'm not saying perfectly. I'm saying, but however, what I noticed that with the number of scams online that are happening, and people get their credit card information and boom, like, so the level of trust that I to be able to cross that, I put my product on Amazon because
Mm-hmm.
people trust that here, right?
Yep.
There's these few big names that people know that if these guys, if I make a payment online, is gonna come to my house the next day,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's a lot less hassle because again, you're is get the shipment is being managed by them. Logistics is a big factor over here, right?
Yeah.
If you want to start something big, then it's logistics is the way to go. Like really, you have margins over there if you're talking. But if you're a smaller business, I would recommend getting into FBA and learning how that works because you got to have a license and register. It's a lot about trust, as I told you.
Got it. You mentioned about the registering and license. You mentioned you're incorporated in Delaware. I'm kind of curious because you're based in the UAE for some context as well, and we mentioned that a little bit. Based in the UAE, why are you incorporated in Delaware? I would think you'd want to avoid the taxes.
Yeah, it's a very good question because in Delaware there was a service being offered by Stripe. It's called World Atlas. You pay $500 for that, and you get access to a license and a bank account
Okay.
um, in the United States. So what happened was my license. The reason I did it was to really test my product in the United States. So I had a drop shipping, not really a drop shipping, Shopify store where I registered. I made my website. I had the template, and we were doing good on sales. And then I want because I wanted to test out the U.S. market, right? And I started putting ads in on TikTok in the USA, and that itself was another thing because it's difficult to do it without the VPN. I mean, the VPN could help you because when you're logging in on TikTok from here, it's very difficult to make sure that your audience is the United States as well.
Okay.
Because there's a shift in the locations all the time. So it was difficult. And then I backed off after a couple of months. And then I put my company, I'm going to be closing it off soon. But it was really just to test how is the market over there. I could see that the engagement was a lot more in the
Okay.
United States. It was a bigger market.
Got it. It's interesting because as an American, I've lived in the US for my entire life. I'm only in the UAE for the last few months. Kind of what you're saying of like the idea that there's more, that you feel like there's more trust towards products in the US. It's interesting to kind of see a little bit about some of the differences between the markets here in the UAE and then back in the US.
Yeah. I know. I think there's a lot more potential in the United States because it's a bigger market. You can find bigger, if I were to say, niches into into products that are trending. For example, T-shirts. I know it is a big thing in America.
Okay.
Every time you have a festive season, you have any sort of event or any sort of, for example, Thanksgiving, Christmas. You also have any sort of concert. There's businesses that just take plain T-shirts of good quality, ship them from the United States, and there's a whole logistics process attached to. Because I have some family in the United States, I know it's very big. They told me that they print some icons and some slogans and some uh, you get me the company names and everything, and then it's just for the sake of that event. So this is like a seasonal thing. So there's some sort of print going on every season, and they would make a bunch of money, really, like it would flip a lot of money. But again, that's for people who have a store and then you have a platform to sell it. Or maybe you could just have a platform for you, Nick. I think it's a very good idea. You could just make a website for people to have T-shirts in different seasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get a license, it's $100 over there, right? Make a store. And the biggest problem, one of the reasons why I quit in the U.S. market is the social security number, right?
Okay.
The social security number, having one from outside the U.S. and opening a bank account is a big, big hassle. It's a big
Mm-hmm.
trouble. But my intention to you is like it's a lot more easier if you're there in the
Mm-hmm.
United States like you're living there, you're from there. I think it's a lot more easier selling to that market itself because a lot of people they're trying to sell and they have base, but you'd have to go very indirectly. So I think the U.S. market is essentially the best places to be in right now.
Okay.
Like all the crisis and everything, I think there's a lot of potential stuff.
All right. Have you tried selling to other markets as well, like India, China, Europe, anything like that?
No, no, no. I do not try to. My
Okay.
initial goal was only U.S. because if you try to go to those markets, the logistics gets extremely hectic.
Sure.
because because to make sure the quality of what you are delivering is the same, you would need to have people over there. You need to know people in those countries.
Mm-hmm.
So for my advice to you or anybody or myself even, if you're starting out, start out where you live, right?
Mm.
Understand that market first. Then you expand. For me, example, if I ever do expand and get big here, my first place to be was Saudi Arabia or Qatar.
Mm.
Why? Because those markets are a little bit similar, right? Easy to get to. You
Mm-hmm.
may have people you know, and second thing is it's easier to ensure that the quality of what you're delivering is the same. Like for example, like you're ordering 1,000 units, right,
Mm-hmm.
from China to get to delivered to Saudi Arabia. I could easily go and fly there and check the units myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could
Mm-hmm.
maybe I wouldn't be able to fly to India for some reason because of like I don't know visa or some other issues.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit difficult to making sure the quality stays the same.
Okay. Got it. And have you had any issues in terms of like the logistics? Have there been any strange things about like have you actually, here's something. Have you been to China to your factory to check things out?
No,
No? Okay,
I
okay.
will. That's the thing. So the thing I love about them is maybe the work ethic. This is a part of it. Every time they do something, they send you a picture for it, and you can request for it. This is your right, right? Every time they're making some changes or something is happening, they would walk you through the entire process. They would tell you this is happening right now. This is what we're doing, and they would be willing to answer you apart from the Chinese New Year, they're active all year.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
They will be answering you all the time. They're always at your service. So this is one thing about I love about the Chinese work ethic. They're always out there, you know. So I would definitely go and visit them. They would love that. This is one of my plans in the coming months.
Okay. Awesome. That's great.
And it's also another thing is very good question that you asked. For a lot of the people that are trying to discover products that have not even been because Chinese markets understand what they're making is gate kept
Mm.
until it's really out in the market. I mean that they're making stuff. So if you paid a visit to the Chinese factories over there in one of the cities, for example, I forgot the name of the city. So Henan province, yeah, Henan. Henan province is really where the factory is, the industrial province over there. So if you were to visit and you saw the factories and you tell them, can you show me some of the products that are not out in the market, right?
Mm.
Then you can really understand, okay, this is maybe something that might work. Maybe it's not going to work. Let me, try to place an order for this way before and get it here. And so I'm the first one in the market. It's going to work. And again, it needs to be something that you know the market needs. It's one of the things.
Yeah.
For a lot of this, you need capital. Really, like you're starting out, you need somewhere to. But I think even with $1,000, you could start off really well. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you don't need a course for this. A lot of people sell a course. You could ask someone who knows you trust, who you so have a mentor who you trust, and then you start off. For me, I did not have any mentor, so it took me a lot longer. Right? I can imagine if I had someone I trusted that I could ask some questions to, it would be amazing. I know a lot of people who've been very successful in this niche, like someone who made 200, $300,000 in sales or $400,000 back in France, and they're living here. Some of them are, I don't know if they're legitimate. Some of them are legitimate. But the main thing is that this in Indonesia is working. It's just like the market is very dynamic. You have to understand that things are changing all the time. But once you know how it works, it works.
Okay.
It could be specific, like for you, Nick. It could be something that's something that in aerospace that you have some prior knowledge. If you're
Mm.
starting out completely new, and it's very difficult. For me, example, I launched this product. I understood what some of the buyers were, the manufacturers were talking about, like in terms of
Mm.
specification, the gel itself, like how's the structure going to be, what are the benefits of it, right?
Mm.
So you should be talking their language. When you talk to them, you should be going deep technical, right? Do your research.
Mm.
What are the benefits of this? What are the specs? What is expected? What is of a better quality? Hey, can we use this material? So this is the idea of it.
Yeah.
I think
Okay. Have there been any benefits? I know UAE is kind of like, maybe not notoriously, but I'll say notoriously a hub for drop shippers and like people who do run online business. Have there been benefits for you being located in the UAE and in proximity to a lot of people who run these similar types of businesses?
I think a lot of the people who are doing dropshipping businesses, while they're based here, their product is not sold here. A lot of right. because the market is very difficult, but they prefer selling it here in Europe, for example. That's again, as I told you, to escape taxes. That
Hmm.
is their primary concern. They do
Yeah.
not care about more. So their main goal is to work with what's already working with them in the United States or in Europe, and just bring they get their cash flow to their accounts here.
Hmm.
The primary benefit of being here is that, and second thing is um the safety and security, and third thing is Amazon is primarily offered here right now. And another feature that I think a lot of people should capitalize on is the fact that FBA, the warehousing service, allows you to ship your product from here to Saudi Arabia. So you could be based here. This is a new feature, by the way.
Okay.
You could be based here, your products could be located here, right? But if somebody from Saudi Arabia places an order, right, on your product, you don't have to go there. You don't have to have a license. They're going to ship it out for you. This just got introduced like a month and a half ago.
Okay.
So it's crazy for crazy. What would I say? Benefit for being here, located here, and having your licenses, things located here. And second thing is people are a lot more open to collaborations, right? People, if you're coming from a very good background, you know what you're talking about. Like for example, Doctor Stretch. I know for a fact that they're going to be open to a collaboration. I'm just in conversations with them,
Hmm.
and there's always someone to find within your niche because it's so diverse. I'm not sure you understand. Like there's so many possibilities that you could find. Just if you do a quick search on LinkedIn, you'll find someone in your industry doing the exact same thing. So instead of competing with them, you can collaborate with them.
Hmm.
But again, you trust, and this is a very big factor. You're not getting cheated on.
Um, you're saying that Amazon will ship from here to Saudi Arabia, and that it happened like a month and a half ago. I'm glad that you highlighted that the scene is actively still changing. I know for me, it's something that it feels like these like the kind of the systems that kind of keep the economy in the world running are a little stagnant. They're very like established, but it's good to know that there are actively things that are shifting around. Maybe more so in this region than in the U.S. I'm not sure about that, but especially in this region, I guess there's a lot happening.
Yep.
Okay. I'm wondering as well, so throughout this whole kind of time, you've been a university student. How has that shaped this journey? And have there been positives? There been negatives? What's that look like?
I think I've done reasonably well for a person. It's one of the reasons why my progress has been slow as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
and in the business, so I will always prioritize my academics more than the business itself. Maybe there's a lot of people might question me for that, or sometimes I question myself even. So like, why would I do that? But the reason is like, if I have a solid foundation, I could go and expand this on and get my technology over here with a few changes patented as a scientist,
Mm-hmm.
and then take it from there and finding funding, for example, or collaboration would be a lot easier in the future if I came from a good background. So my vision is to take this forward as a PhD student or a scientist or a master's student,
Okay.
and propose it in those places where people actually understand the need of it, and where you have a platform that is representing you. For example, here in Khalifa University, I was part of the KUEC a lot, also because of my background. Like I have sorry, I have a good entrepreneurial experience, but they're providing me a platform to sell this, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're providing me with the partnerships. So KUC is the place to go for this. That's
Mm-hmm.
their whole job. They tell you, advise you. Advisory is a big thing. So as I told you, if I had someone who would advise me, mentor me through this, I would have progress a lot faster. And I want to continue having this. So I will continue performing as best as I can in academia and also balance my business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really essentially a balance. You got to make sure that when something needs attention, you give it that. You prioritize it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have exams, you focus on that. If you have free time, then you allocate half an hour to this and see what's going on. If there's something that needs your attention. But again, like businesses like these take a lot of your time, and you will never really be at the level you want to be successful unless you give all of you give it your heart and you give it your blood, your sweat,
Yeah.
and your tears. You were like, I'm not saying I put all of that in the beginning. I was burning myself out for this when I was going to offices and I was doing ads and I was
Yeah.
looking at everything, but also allowed me to take a step back. But the thing is, I expect it to work at right now, like in the winter vacation when I give it all of my time and do research. Every time I would get a gap on the weekend maybe. So it's all about balancing. It's difficult. It's the most difficult part of this, right? Getting the input and talking to people. Visits to places where they do these sessions and stuff like that. But take your time out. Take a step back. And the most important thing is you are where you need to be. You don't have to, lie to yourself and compare yourself. The comparison is a thief of joy. When you look at somebody who has a lot more than you, have achieved a lot more, maybe they sacrifice a lot more as well. Maybe they were just lucky, right? Maybe something struck out of nothing and they got it. So it's not about looking at someone else and thinking they've done better and I could have been the same way if I put more time into it. No, as long as you were dedicated to your academics and you were dedicated to performing, there's nothing you need to worry about. If you were lazy, that's your problem. I mean, there's ways to go. If you're lazy and unmotivated and you don't have the time, I mean, people say this all the time, but the thing is, if you have a vision and you're working towards it, for me, my vision is right now to graduate with a very, very excellent GPA, get into the best college university for postgrad school, and then take my business on from there. And till then, I will continue trying whatever I can to collaborate with businesses and still sell my product. Because this is not just anything you just pick up and you flip it and then boom, it's not working. I'll change my product. I mean, a lot of business partners with me kept telling me that you're wasting your time and you need to change the product. And come on, man, all the time people will tell me that. Hey, but I told to myself, I see the potential in this, right? I know people need it because I've seen them. I've had so many experience with people. Hey, I need this. I need this thing. So it was sort of a reminder to myself that my product has not failed, even though people kept telling me that, right?
Okay. I'm curious where the initial investments that you've got came from. And then
Very
I'm
good.
also wondering as well, are you thinking about if you found yourself in a position where you had some traction, but you did need to change the product and you needed some capital, what would you look for to raise that capital if you would raise capital?
Okay, primarily when you're starting out from zero, scratch, you need capital to start off with. So to even place an order of 50 units, you need quite a bunch. Okay, so how I started off was, as I told you, I was dropout, right? I used to teach tuitions, I tutor students in my neighborhood and earn money, about like, for example, $10 an hour or something
Okay.
like that. Uh, and I used to get paid on a monthly basis, right? So I would wait out the entire month, and every time I would get paid out, I would invest all of the money,
Mm-hmm.
literally all of it, into my business. I would save it up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Save it up another month, another month, another month. On to sixth month, I already had enough that I could put in without comfortably. And I had a partner with me, a friend of mine, that we just split all the payments 50-50. And now we had two of us. Now
Mm-hmm.
we put all of our money into this because um, I think so. We put about like $5,000 into this,
Okay.
and all of it was from our own. We did not borrow it. When you put your own effort, and you know that you how many hours you were there when making that money, you know that there's no chance, there's no way possible this is gonna fail,
Yeah.
right? So it's a lot more dedication towards that, and then you put your money in, and then you capitalize. I mean, talk to the suppliers, then you allocate or you set a budget for yourself, right? How
Mm-hmm.
much do I have to spend and where do I have to spend it?
Mm-hmm.
So that way you document the whole thing, right? Then you calculate the profit. How much are you making on one unit?
Mm-hmm.
Is it enough for you to even invest in? That's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest question, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
no, is it even worth investing in? What are your competitors selling it for? You have to go to that same platform and see how much is it going for. If I were to sell it at that same price or even a little bit more, will it cut even with
Mm-hmm.
the investment that I've put in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the idea of making sure your numbers are right, right? And borrowing money, I think, should come at a later stage when you have some track record, when you have something to show.
Is there any last thing that you'd like to share? I mean, you've given so many insights to people who are interested in starting businesses, working with manufacturers, all of this amazing information. But is there any last advice that you'd like to share for anyone, university students who are looking to start something, or anyone just in general who's looking to start something like this?
See, I think we're something very important. A lot of us need to have. Of course, not everybody can be an entrepreneur, but if you have an idea that you think can work at the back of your head, you should get to it. You should start
Mm.
somewhere. You should talk to someone and see what you could do to make it viable. Before
Mm.
anything, try to take the steps forward. Make mistakes. Doesn't matter, because nobody just starts something and it becomes what you want it to be. Because even if you were to get it, you wouldn't be able to manage it. It's the
Mm.
journey that teaches you how to manage it. So once you have that in you and you think you're ready, to be honest, there's no time that you're really going to be ready. You just have to start. Create a sense of urgency that this needs to be done today. What could I do right now? And then there's another one thing, the 1%, the 1% mindset. Do you know about
Okay.
it?
I'm not. Can you update me?
The alchemist.
Okay.
So what it is you get better 1% every single day. Set a timer of 100 days, 1%. And you can make how you count your progress is you note it down. Whether that could be for any discipline, that could be for yourself in the gym. It could be towards your grades. It could be towards your business as well. See how you track your progress and continue setting goals for yourself that you know that you could achieve. Because it's those achievements in between that keep pushing you. Those are the milestones. 1% every single day, 100 days. You'll see a lot of
Mm.
difference, right?
Yeah. I love that. I love that a lot. All right. Well, Abdullah, this has been an incredible conversation. Is there anything you'd like to promote? And you better take this opportunity to promote your business as well, because I would almost be a little hurt if you didn't.
um. So if you're in Dubai and you have back pain, you can go to Amazon and just type in WEZOKIN, and you will find our product. Feel free to message me. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure my post is going to tag me on the post,
Yep.
and or my Instagram, and ask me about the product, whatever questions you may have, and I'll be very, very delighted to answer those.
All right. Well,
You're
Abdullah,
the
this has
one.
been it's been awesome talking with you today. Hope you
Yeah.
have a great rest of your day.
You too. You too. Take care.
I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have any thoughts, feedback, guest recommendations, or just want to say hi, shoot me an email at nick@reroutedpod.com. If you like the show, leave a review, give us a follow, like, and subscribe. You can find links to our website and socials in the description below. You can also find the Amazon link to Abdullah's product there. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.